Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube, and I call this chapstick. This is cake batter. I picked it at random today. Today we're forgetting I have an intro. I still feel like I'm half asleep. I've been up for about an hour, but I'm still like in that in-between phase in my mind. Like, am I really awake or am I not? So much so I just put away my eye primer and I didn't even prime my eyes yet. Fenty Brow Pencil, Pat Primer, Estee Lauder Concealer, Pat Foundation. Intro. Okay, let's get to it. Troll here. Talking to myself. I call this the crazy troll nation because sometimes I really don't know what I'm doing, as you just saw. The crazy is also enjoying when you do videos, enjoying playing in your makeup, enjoying the channels that you watch here on YouTube. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Wear whatever you want to, apply it however you want to, with whatever you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. You set the standard for yourself. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we are about self-acceptance, self-love, embracing our natural features, enhancing them when we want to, if we want to, but never feeling like we have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. You are unique, you are amazing, you are perfect the way you are. Don't believe it when somebody tells you different. That is the concept of the Crazy Troll Nation. I hope that resonates with you. I'm glad that you are here. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, what's up, my troll fam? I appreciate each and every one of you. You can be watching anybody's video and you clicked to see me, and I appreciate that. I do need to let you know, if you're new here, I do curse in my videos sometimes because I curse sometimes, period. So what you see is really what you get. This video, we are going to be pairing, you already know from the title, so I feel weird always saying like what we're doing because you know what we're doing from the title. So these are what the palettes look like. This is number 3, Subversive, and you've seen this plenty of times in this series. This is Subversive, and this one is Decadence, the one that's all metallic. So I'm gonna hold these up side by side so you can see what we're working with. These are what we're working with. This is Subversive. This one is Decadence. This is what we got. Looks good, right? Looks good. The challenge for me was picking out shadows that I haven't used in a while in the series because we're still using the same 7 palettes and whatever look we're at. This is look 8 for pairing the palettes, which means this is look 15 because I have 7 of the Motherships and we did a look with each one. So this is look 15 using Pat McGrath. So we've used all the shades. And so for me, the challenge is trying to do different combinations, even though we're pairing them, so we're not getting the same kind of look, which we may kind of, well, no, I am trying to switch it up. So instead of using the black, we're going to go into this shade here, which is called Deep Shade, and that's going to be on our outer corner. And I do think this is going to be a very light look, which will be different because y'all know I like the dark. And even though I started out, when I just did the first looks just with each palette by itself, my goal was to do the ethereal looks that I typically see with Motherships. But then halfway through, my aesthetic just came through like, look, we're tired of sleeping. We're going to get up and we're going to play with you in your makeup. And so that kind of changed. And then I started doing like a darker outer corner. And I didn't intend to. It just happened. When you lean towards a certain thing, even when you try to do something different, the real you is going to come out eventually. And so that's kind of what happened. And even with trying to do the sharp angle, it's not as far down as it comes because sometimes it comes past my wrinkles over here. And so even trying to do the sharp angle, it still ends up rounded because that's what I'm doing, even if it's unintentional. Because I did like, and I do like when I wing my eyeshadow out. So, but those are just some of the challenges, is like muscle memory just takes over and you go back to doing what you've been doing, which is why I must say I am proud of myself that I'm still doing dark to light, outward to inward. Can I speak today? I can always speak gibberish very well. And so I am really liking this, and I'm wondering if I'm going to keep doing this. And what's funny, but not in a ha-ha way, is that when I write down looks, I write them according to how I'm going to place it. And so because I was doing inward to outward, I would write inner lid shade, center lid, outer corner, outer V, but now I'm writing fourth quarter lid, third quarter lid, center lid, inner lid. And so if I do switch between techniques, I'm gonna have to really look at it and be like, okay, wait, let me make sure I'm putting this shadow in the right place. Let me know if you guys keep an eyeshadow lookbook. And surprisingly, I don't use it. I don't use it. The concept was to keep track of the looks that I do. So, especially the ones that I like. Well, I only keep the ones I like, and if I don't, I figure out how to tweak it, and that's what goes in my lookbook. But the concept was, if I ever get stuck on what eyeshadow look to use, just grab a palette. I don't know what to do. It's just one of them days where I don't want to think. Look in the lookbook and pick a look and just do it. So that's what it is. And even though it's a lookbook, the looks are typed out there. It's not pictures. Excuse me. So that was the idea of that, but I haven't used it. And I think because when I first get a palette, I do make it a point to use every shadow in that palette. And so I know that I'm using every single shade and then just doing other looks. But anyway, that was the concept of it. Let me know if you guys keep a lookbook. Now we're going to take Gigabyte. This is still Subversive number 3. The first brush was a fluffy, it says blending brush, but you see I use it for packing. The next 3 brushes we're going to use are smaller, dense, but still soft shader brushes, because we're using the metallics from Decadence and the celestial shades from Subversive, which are baked, and so they're not the chunky monkeys. If I feel like I need more saturation, I will go into the shadow with a sponge tip applicator, but this is Gigabyte. So we're going to, wow. And yes, this is a dry brush. I'm wondering if I'm going to get fallout. This shade, y'all. You know what these 2 shades are reminding me of next to each other? Shadows from Sublime Cosmetics Forest Heart. Was it Forest Heart or Dark Forest? Forest Heart. I always want to say Dark Heart or something. But the Sublime Cosmetics Forest Heart palette. That's what these 2 next to each other are reminding me of. We're going to go back to, why does it feel like it's something in this eye? Maybe that's Henry in there. So we're going to just feather over. This is the brush that had deep shade on it. Was that the shade? Yes. I don't think I've put these 2 next to each other before. And I don't think I put Gigabyte like mostly on a lid like that before. This is nice. This is new. This is new for me. I'm excited that I've done so many looks with the Motherships. And I'm going to be honest, because I just am. Part of me is like, girl, move on to something else. But this is really showing me like there is just so much that you can do with these palettes, and this goes on so nice. Even though this is a celestial shade, like this is just smooth because it's the baked formula. Look how this it is so effortless, and I'm not even pushing hard. Like, you don't see my skin moving or anything. Like, it is just there. Oh my gosh, I really dig this. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I'm learning a lot. I hope you guys are too. And even if you don't have these palettes or similar shades, just playing around with your makeup and just seeing what'll happen to see how much you can do. Because as I said, between this series alone, this is look number 15. And when I did the first part of the series, when I did part 1, I did put in the title like what look that was with that palette. And so I worked through my stuff, and that's the objective is to encourage you to use what you have and not always feel the need to buy the next new thing, because the next new thing is 5 seconds from now. Like, stuff just keeps coming out. But to really use what you have, because I found that having the small collection of palettes I have, which is about 50, I think, or less palettes. I have probably close to 50 now because of the recent haul stuff that I still haven't used yet because I've been wearing Pat all month. Stuff starts to look the same. Things start to look the same, colors start to look similar, and it's just like, I can do something very similar to that. And so just really, I encourage you, because you can do what you want to do, and I want you to do what you want to do. Consider though, well, I'm encouraging you to consider just really looking at what you have before you buy the next new thing in 5 seconds. And to really think, can I do something similar? I'm feeling like there's more deep shade here than here. So I'm going to just tap. I just tapped lightly and I'm tapping off. And we're just going to put this right here. We're just going to tap it right there. Yeah, I think that looks more the same. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm still like holding this brush like this. Like, why am I gripping it like it's trying to run away? You know why? Because I probably would drop it like I usually do. Now we're going to go into Decadence, and we're going to take Gold Standard. This is going to be a bright look. Oh. And because this is just a regular metallic, we're taking another one of these brushes. Do I have an inner? Oh, and I have an inner corner. This was supposed to not bend all the way over. Shoot. So this is, oh my gosh. This is Gold Standard. Wow. And we're going to overlap to the center part of the lid to like right here. Wow. I have never done this combination. I can say that for sure. Wow. I'm looking at this line right here. So there's really nothing here in either one of these palettes to take as a transition shade. Well, it would be brow bone shade. But excuse me if you hear that gurgle in my throat. I just had some Bolt House Farms. I got them not too long ago. I have a lot of errands to run today. And so for once, this is a get ready with me. I'm really going outside. It says why did I get so loud? It says it's 74 degrees outside, but it's humid, and I can tell because it's humid in here, and my AC is on 74, which is the same temperature as outside, but it just feels really humid. So I know it is outside. And I am going to spray my face with the Japanese aerosol spray, which, reading a text, I'm sorry. Well, excuse me. Somebody asked you for something, and then you tell them you'll find it and send it, and then they just text you and be like, never mind, I found it in the other stuff you sent me. Okay. Now we're going to take, yes, I'm actually going out today. I was wondering if I really did, upon more thinking, if I liked the Japanese spray. I remember saying I liked it because it was luminous. It gave a luminosity to my face. But today when I was thinking to spray my face before I leave, that if my sweat does start to break through, which it didn't before, but because it looks luminous, I don't want to look sweaty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put it on and I'm going to see. And if I remember, I will report back. I will be in my vehicle, in and out of stores. I have to take the modem back to Comcast, which there's one inside of Christiana Mall, which is like 10 minutes away, because my internet has been slower lately. So she suggested to try a new modem versus, you know, just upgrading service. Now we're going to take Sinful, this shade right here. This is still in Decadence. These two are in Decadence. The first two were in Subversive. And so it's still been slow. A video uploaded quicker than usual, but it was still slow yesterday. And I just felt the chunk fall on the side of my nose, and I'm hoping it just rolled off my face. And so I'm going to wait to see. I'm going to give it time, because also on the 17th, they did maintenance in my area, and they said it'll affect outages. And what shade was that? Where am I? Oh, that was Sinful. I think this would look nice next to Gigabyte also, because it looks a little some angles it looks like it has a green tint to it, to my eye. And I know my color perception is different than some people's. But yeah, this is a very bright look. And I got on a pink shirt. I don't match my makeup to my clothes. And I am going to wear my glasses. Usually when I go out or if I'm going to be driving, I wear my contacts because then I don't see the frame and see the arms. So I prefer to wear my contact lenses when I'm driving and when I'm going to be out and about. However, my glasses do the automatic thing where it gets dim when you're in the sunlight, and so I feel like that protects my eyes. And so that's why I've still just been wearing my glasses. But I'm thinking I'm going to start wearing makeup out. I haven't worn makeup out in a while because I'm wearing a mask, and sometimes I still do, and then sometimes I don't. Whereas before, it was every time I was out, I was wearing it. And so I'm like, why put on makeup and it's just going to be inside the mask? And the masks I buy are expensive, so I'm like, I ain't wasting a mask every time. This is different for me, isn't it? I know. I want to put something up here, but what? Because all of these are metallic, and I have taken metallics under my brow bone before, but these are all, I don't know if this would be too light. This one here, oh man. And from Subversive, this is the outer corner shade, and you see that that's dark. Maybe if I go super light, this is the one that we used. Maybe if we go super light with that, I'm nervous. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna tap real light. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna just start here. And what I could do is just take Gigabyte higher, but we're gonna just lightly tap. It's only a little bit on the brush. Shoot. Okay, I swiped it this time because it doesn't seem like any is coming up. Because I don't want this to be dark up here, but there's just this space up here that I want to cover. I like that better. So I don't know if you see the difference. You see some shadow here, and then you see the primer here because it's like that pinkish hue. So it is making a little bit of difference. The key for me is just to go really light because you see how dark this shade is. And so I am just like tapping lightly. And I'm only going to go to like right here. I do like that better. All right, we're going to do one swipe and we're going to tap off. We're doing out here first, so if it does get dark, it's okay because it's over the outer corner. And then we're going to bring it in. And you notice we're not swiping. We're just tapping just to get rid of some of that primer showing up like blank space. And so again, we're just stopping like right here. I'm liking this. And we're just going to tap over here just to blend that out, even though it is kind of blended already. So we're just tap, 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 tap. Tapping over, tap, tap, tap on the edges and tapping over. This is our eye look, y'all. This is very different from me. Very different. So we have 3 shades from each palette on the eye. And we're going to use... What are we going to use? Oh, we're not done with the lower lash line. So it will be 3 shades from each eye. And we're going to use Skin Show Fever from Subversive as our cheek highlight once we do that. So let's go ahead and do the lower lash line. Well, I'm glad that person found what they were looking for. It's like, why not just look in the first place? But anyway, let me be nice. They actually called and I was sleeping. I was surprised though that it was like 3:15 because sometimes they call at like 9 in the morning. They know I'm nocturnal. And if I am awake at 9, I'm in bed, you know, drifting off to sleep, you know what I mean? So I was surprised it was after 3, but I was still sleeping though. So I saw who it was and I said, well, if it's important to leave a message, because sometimes people will call and don't leave a message, and that tells me that they really didn't want anything. If they really wanted to reach me, they would text me, because when I answer the phone when I'm asleep or half asleep, I don't remember the conversation. And so if somebody's asking me, oh yeah, I wanted to ask you to do this or do that, blah blah blah, that looks messy. So we're going to make this side messy. And so I can have a conversation, but I won't remember most of it. And so when the conversation is about to end, I'll say, do me a favor. Text me what it is you asked me to do. Because I'm not going to remember because I'm talking in my sleep. So I'm just like, just text me anyway if you have questions for me or you want me to do something. Because chances are I'm not going to remember. My mom was that way too. Oh my gosh. I don't think we did it on purpose, my sister and I. We would just, wake our mom up and ask her for something. And she would say, yeah. So then we would do whatever the thing was. And later on, she'd be like, why'd y'all do such and such? And we would tell her. And she would say, I keep telling y'all, stop waking me up and asking me questions. Because y'all know I'm not going to remember. We're going to take Sterling from Decadence. This shade here. And so I'm that way too. I don't know if most people are, but I would think so. Because if you're half asleep, like you're not, excuse me if you heard my throat gurgle. You're not all the way awake to be making decisions. You know what I mean? And so she would always be like, stop waking me up and asking me stuff. And so when I do get those phone calls, which I don't answer calls anymore if I'm not up and alert, because I'm not going to remember what you're saying anyway. And if you have to text me to remind me, just text me in the first place. But that's just me. Like, people do things different. But I was surprised when she called. It was like after 3 o'clock and not like 9 in the morning. And I still didn't answer. I looked at it and just was like, well, she'll leave a message if it's important. And it actually was. It just turned out that she ended up finding the information that she asked me for because I had gave it to her before. And I think she was being impatient. I was taking too long to send it to her. Because I text her saying, I'll look and send you what I have once I'm functional. When I first wake up, I'm not functional for like an hour and a half. Seriously. Up to 2 hours sometimes. Now we're going to take Skin Show. No. Astral Ghost Orchid. This shade here. I don't remember what color this is. Because these be looking different. What's that? Sterling? Why am I putting this on the second half of the lid? And this is a glittery one. Oh, man. Oh, man. Huh. Yeah, I did. This is what I wrote. And it is not showing up. I think I'm going to give up with this because I don't want it to flake into my eye. Yeah, that's not... That's not showing up. So what we're going to do... I'm trying to get it even though you can't see it. I can't see it. It is creating just a little bit of fallout. This is the brush that we use for foundation. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the brush that had Sterling on it. So this is the outer corner. This is the outer lower lash line. And this is the first half of the lower lash line. Let me see if I can hold them up together. I really thought, I don't know what I thought. I did think it was going to show up. So both these corner shades, this one is on, this is the first half of the lid. This I was trying to put on the second half of the lid. And maybe because it's just so glittery, I thought it was going to show up. I didn't know what color I thought it was going to be because all of the colors that look white aren't white. So we're just going to take Sterling. And this is new too because I was going to take Enigma, which I had used before for lower lash line. I'm like, no, because I'm trying to do different colors and different combinations, you know what I mean? And so, and now it looks, the first part looks so bright. And this doesn't. So some of that other shadow is there. You know it's going to be like that. Wow, that's interesting. Surprisingly, I don't feel anything in my eye. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon. This is a pretty shade. This look is definitely different for me. I know I said that already, but it is reminding me, the lid up here is reminding me of a look from that Sublime Cosmetics palette. With those swamp water greens and the browns. Oh, this would be nice with a double wing, but this is not that video. So let me stop pulling that over because I could still, yeah, I'll still do a double wing. I'll put the black just on top. So I'm just pressing this as far as it can go without pulling too much more. I don't even know what to say, because I don't recommend pulling your skin, but as you see, there is still shadow in the brush, so I'm just pressing it and just letting it stop where it stops. I was like, what is this right here? Right here you don't see it, but then when I go like this, it's there. So I was like, what is that? So we're going to leave that like that. Is that equal? I don't think it's equal. So I'm just kind of trying to get it to go up here. I don't want to do too much. So we're going to leave that like that. And we're going to go ahead and do our upper lash line. Thank you for being here for this series. Part of me does feel like it's redundant, even though we're doing different looks, because it's like all pat. When you let me know when you first get a palette, not that I just got these, but how I said when I first get a palette, my goal is to work through every shade in that palette. Is that your goal too? Or do you just do like one look and then you put it down and move on to something else? And I do understand sometimes it can start to feel boring, like, oh my gosh, I just used this palette yesterday, I don't want to use it again today. I do it because it helps me get a feel for the entire palette. It is important for me to like an entire palette. And in order for me to feel like I have a well-rounded view of it, I feel like I need to use all the shades to see how they perform, because all shimmers in a palette do not perform the same. All mattes in a palette do not perform the same. And so for me to say, oh yeah, I like this palette, you know, or I recommend it, or I don't, I feel like I need to try them all. And that's just me. Let me know your take on that. Like, when you first get a palette, do you feel the need to use every shade? Or are you satisfied with using like 4 shades, one look, and saying this is a fantastic palette? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever is right for you. Whatever feels right for you. But that's why I do things the way I do. And that's why I'm enjoying this series as well. Like, whatever palette you have, or any one brand, if you have like 3 palettes, do a series. Like, consider doing a series and just busting out looks and pairing them. Because this is really showing me, I know I keep saying it, but I'm just kind of like, wow, I'm like amazed by it. It's really showing me how much these palettes can do. And if I was just hopping around, you know, do one look with this palette today, something must be in my eye, because they're getting glassy. They're feeling teary. Oh, Lord. But at least I'll have my glasses on. I kind of want to go ahead and do the lip and then powder down and come back and do bronzers and all of that. So I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so let me know about that, your take on palettes. Because sometimes I do see reviews and they'll say this is a palette review, excuse me, and they only use like 4 shades, and then they're saying, you know, they recommend the palette, and I'm like, you only use 4 shades in a palette? Like, what opinion do you have of it? And so I appreciate more when they say, you know, first impressions, because that's really what it is. When I did Moolah Bank and I did the 6 looks, one video, systematically working through the palette, it was still my first impressions, even though I had used every shade twice by the end of that video. I just realized, like, why am I doing this? Because this is going to come off, because it's going to start like rubbing against my teeth, smearing on my teeth and all of that. But this is the look. I should have not done the lip. Went about my day and let y'all see what I look like when I come back home. I am not liking how far down this side is coming, because it's looking different. Like right here, it just looks like, and I know that's just the shadow, but and I'm gonna have my glasses on, so I'm not overly concerned with it. And even if I wasn't wearing my glasses today, it's like, it is what it is. I'm loving the top lid though. I would prefer brown on the lower lash line, and I might go back with deep shade and put that there. I love the top lid. I think I'm gonna leave this like this, so that way I'm not putting it on the inside of my lip, which is when and where the gloss will start smearing my teeth. We're gonna go in the deep shade. What palette is that in? That is in Subversive. So this dark shade right here, we're gonna take that, and it's cute the way it is, but I just want something darker. And we're just going to put this along our lower lash line. Oh, did I just wipe that off? I knocked the side of the palette with the bristles. So we're, in a way, we're covering it up. Is that working to cover that up? Sterling is no joke. That shade is like, I'm here. You can do what you want. I'm not leaving. And I'm coming down far enough to like cover, but it's not covered. What? And I am using the tip of the brush because I wanted to keep it close to the lash line, but now I'm just like trying to get it on. So my errands today, I want to go to Aldi's. I want to get some Gatorade and bag salad, the Southwestern salads, some Gouda cheese, some snacks. Y'all, my hormones are still just doing whatever they want to do. So I've been like craving junk food. So I think I'm gonna get some chips. I'm gonna get some salsa because I've been making my own burrito bowls. Like the ones they do at Eat at Moe's or Chipotle. Or what's that other place that I forget? And I ran out of salsa the other day. And so I get some salsa and just a few other things. I do think that toned down that gold type-ish shade, which I really like. So we have these two glosses to use. It's not going to matter. It's just going to make it shiny. We're just going to use this one. I'm wondering, like, I was going to say, do I want to powder down my face? But I do because it's tacky. And if I go outside, the elements are just going to stick to my face. If there's pollen or if they're out there cutting grass, it's just going to be stuck all over my face. So I am going to go ahead and powder down. This, excuse me, Aliengelic, and it looks purple. I did do a swatch video, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I did forget this was gonna look purple, but I do like purple with green, and I need to not put a lot because that's when it's going to start smearing on my teeth. Especially if I smile, because of how my lips go. So, we're going to leave that like that. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to powder down, put on bronzers, put on blush. I think I'm going to just use Desert Orchid today. Mascara base, mascara primer. I was going to say, did we do upper lash line? Yes, we did. So, we're going to do those few things. And then we're going to come, hiccup, excuse me. Then we're going to come back with the finished look. The face is done except for the highlighter. So here we go with Skin Show Fever from Mothership number 3, Subversive. We're not going to tap off. I did use Desert Orchid today as a blush and not Paradise Venus. I can't see what it looks like. But I'm seeing some glow a little bit. Not tapping off. We're going to just tap it all here. Oh, this will be a great highlighter. Like if it was in just a compact all by itself. Oh, wow. Oh, it's the lighting. Because this is like pow pow. This is like, I think I want to come out and play, but I'm not sure. And I love a lit from within glow. Oh my gosh. That's this shade right here. This one. Can you tell I like it? What I did with the lips, because it was already starting to bleed into the inner portion of my lips, is I took a lipstick applicator and just ran it along the inside of my lip, and then I took a second one and ran it along there. And because I just did it prior to showing you, some more still came off. So I think I'm gonna take this off before I go out because it's gonna migrate. Yeah, this is the finished look. Thank you for being here. Let me know what you think. Yeah, we'll be back for the next one. I am really needing to cough. Dig on the top, and I know I keep saying it, but it really does remind me of some shadows, if not an actual look, which I'm sure I did, because I think I did 13 looks for that member request video. This is what it looks like. And so if you even just looking at it, this can substitute or maybe show up the same as that one, this one, or mix for a gigabyte. The inner corner, there is nothing in here for that brightness you see there. But just the green and the gold and the brown, yeah. So for once I wasn't imagining things. So non-Pat McGrath series, showing a whole different palette. That'll be, oh my gosh. I'm just like hiccuping and just gurgling and, oh, I got to go. Anyway, thank you for being here. Let me know what you think of this look. And let me know what you think of how I did put deep shade up here, which is deep, but we did it very lightly just to cover some of that primer space. Thank you for being here. I know I keep saying that, but I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I want you to know that. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. You will see me soon. Living on the 3rd floor, y'all, is no joke. I just got back in. I went to Ulta first, picked up an order because 10-point multiplier for foundation. Then I went to Comcast, returned the modem. They got mixed up with what I was saying, so they gave me another new modem. So hopefully this one will be quicker than the one I have. And then I went to Aldi's, and carrying that bag up these flights of stairs. Anyway, this is how the face held up. I did spray it with the Japanese setting spray, and I remember what I said, like I wasn't sure if I was going to look like sweaty, glowy, but I don't. I mean, my chin is looking kind of moist. And when I was in Comcast, I took my glasses off because I felt them sliding here, and so I was dabbing, and it was like all sorts of yuckiness on my fingers, and so I was just kind of like in this area right here. But looking though, I think it looks good. I am glowy, so I don't know for sure. Let me see if it's glowy sweat or glowy from the spray. That's what I'm not sure, because, and I think it might be glowy from the spray because it is some that's wiping off because I am sweaty too. But overall I held up well, and I was in and out of the car, so it's not that I was outside. My phone said it was 74 degrees. My car said it was 90, and at one point when I was walking from the car into the mall, it said it was 84. So like, I don't know what the temperature is, but it's hot. But yeah, so I'm going to keep what I said, that even though it's luminous, I think it is bordering on sweaty. I like how it makes the blush look like the luminosity right here, but like the chin area and like up here, to me it's almost across the line of you look greasy. And so I know some of you will probably say it's a healthy glow, because with the Hourglass, I think it was Radiant Light, when I put it all over, I'm like, I don't know if I look greasy or like a healthy glow, and the consensus was it was a healthy glow. And so I am liking still the highlight and everything, but for me it's just on the fence, and it may just be because I'm not used to seeing me glowy. I'm used to just seeing me more matte, so that may be it too. But I do think it held up well, especially dabbing, because it was sweat and it was like foundation coming off of my fingers. But looking at it, it looks, you can see my skin come through, and of course my freckles, and I wear glasses, so this part is always going to look different, but I'm thinking it's pretty good. So thank you for hanging out for the update, and you will see me in the next Pairing Palettes by Pat McGrath.